Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very proud to be here today to celebrate the state of Illinois' focus on jobs and economic growth. More than at any time in our memories, Illinois today is open for business. Since day one of my administration, I've worked with the General Assembly, business leaders, big and small, workers, and economic growth experts to create a plan to bring jobs and business opportunity to the people of this state. Today, we take yet another significant step forward in that pursuit. I want to first take a moment to thank some of the many people here who were champions of this legislation, as well as those who are going to help us realize our goals going forward. First and foremost, a steadfast advocate for working families, our great Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton. Our partners in the General Assembly, Representative Dave Vella, Senator Stottleman, both of whom were chief sponsors. I want to thank especially also the leaders of both chambers, President Don Harmon and Speaker of the House Chris Welch. And then Senator Mark Walker, who's been a real ally in so many of our focus areas around small businesses, and Leader Maddie Hunter, who always is at my side whenever we're trying to get big things done for the people of the state of Illinois. And I'm always happy to stand next to all of these folks to celebrate advancements that will make a difference for the people of our great state. We also have with us many leaders representing organizations and businesses, workers and industries, including a mayor, that have helped advocate for this very important legislation. Mark Denzler of the Illinois Manufacturers Association, Dave Boulay of IMEC, Michael Casa of the Illinois Economic Development Association, Tim Dre of the AFL-CIO, Craig Carlson from IATSE, the Motion Picture Association, and the Illinois Production Alliance, all of that under Craig's aegis, Moline Mayor Sangeetha Rayapati, Kate Timmerman from the Chicago Quantum Exchange, the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce, the Illinois film industry representatives, and other industry partners. I want to thank all of them for their very, very hard work and willingness to help Illinois innovate and to drive growth and prosperity that all Illinoisans can share in. It is you and the folks that you represent that help make this state such an extraordinary place to live and work. Lastly, I want to express my gratitude to Deputy Governor Andy Minar, First Assistant Deputy Governor Claire Lindberg, DCO Director Kristen Richards, and her terrific team at the department. All of them have been tirelessly committed to our state's economic progress over the last number of years. This omnibus package that I'll sign will help Illinois businesses expand. It'll help them create more well-paying jobs. It cuts the red tape to expedite job creation, continues our successful attraction of high-growth industries, and incentivizes new and existing businesses across downstate Illinois. As a former businessman and now as a governor, promoting our state to businesses across the globe, I can tell you that the economic policy trajectory that Illinois is pursuing is welcome news to those folks that I get to talk to outside of our state. They see that we are on sustainable long-term growth path that is making Illinois more and more attractive. Over the last few years, our state has seen record business formation, nation-leading expansions and incoming relocations, job growth, and corporate investment. Our Illinois focus on a business-friendly environment has meant good things for everyone across our state, and it's because of our attractive tax incentives, our modernized infrastructure, our large and skilled workforce, nation-leading pre-K to 12 education, and world-class universities and research institutions that make this an attractive place to live, work, and do business. Since 2019, Illinois has grown in prominence and achieved greater status as a global economic powerhouse. We have a lot to brag about in this state. And today is about more than just tax credits or incentive packages. It's about the continued revitalization of our communities and of our economy. The investments that we make today in downstate Illinois, in quantum computing, in semiconductor development, film and TV production, electric vehicles, and so much more, will open up paths for businesses and workers for generations of Illinois families, and in doing so, anchor thriving communities from Cairo at the far southern tip of the state of Illinois to Chicago. So thank you all for being great partners in this economic revitalization of our state. And with that, I'm happy to turn this over to a leader for the Rockford area businesses that he represents, for the people that he represents, for the working people of our entire state, Senator Steve Stottlemyre.
Well, good afternoon. I have to admit that the biggest challenge in passing this legislation was trying to explain quantum computing. Not sure I adequately did that, but the bill positions Illinois very well to take advantage of this technological advancement. And thanks to the governor and his staff for spearheading this important initiative. As you heard, this package of bills expands the current incentive programs and updates our business development tools to make sure Illinois remains competitive for jobs and new capital investment. And I can speak firsthand what these incentive programs have meant to the state and to the Rockford area. The Reimagining Energy and Vehicles, or REVD Act, has meant for my state and my Senate district. Early last year, you may remember, the automaker Stellantis idled the Belvedere Assembly Plant. By the end of last year, Stellantis decided to manufacture a new EV truck product here, build a new battery plant, and a new parts distribution center, creating thousands of jobs in the Rockford Belvedere area. That's a nearly $5 billion investment. It was a team effort in making that happen, and the REV program was an important component and a reason why Stellantis agreed to make that deal. And with this new legislation, I'm looking forward to even more wins for the state of Illinois. I'm now happy to introduce Mark Denzler with IMA.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Senator. I'm Mark Denzler, President and CEO of the Illinois Manufacturers Association. I would like to start by thanking Governor Pritzker, Lieutenant Governor Stratton, Director Richards, and everybody up here, all the stakeholders and legislators, for first changing the perception in the direction of Illinois. As the governor said, we are laser focused on creating good, high-paying jobs in the state, and Illinois is making a difference. We are moving forward. We're doing it by working collaboratively on policies that evolve with technology to maintain our competitiveness and our economic strength. Manufacturing is our state's top sector, employing 650,000 workers and contributing the single largest share of our economy. As the governor said, in the last several years, he signed RevEdge in the Micro Act, prioritized game-changing quantum, focused on data centers, created a closing fund, and has invested mightily in workforce. And workforce is so critically important for manufacturing and all employers across the state. I've been on several trade missions with the governor. I've been lucky, including Canada 2 weeks ago, where I've seen firsthand his commitment to Illinois and growing our economy and our jobs. The business development package signed today will build on that legacy by strengthening REV and Micro, which keeps Illinois at the forefront of EV development and supply chains while strengthening incentives for semiconductors and microchip manufacturing. But we're especially thrilled that the governor, for the second time in 5 years, is signing an early extension of the research and development tax credit that has been championed by the IMA and so many others. R&D is the lifeblood of manufacturers who are creating new products and improving existing ones. This further proves that Illinois is open for business. We're committed to advancing research and creating solutions for some of the most pressing challenges. Today is a win for Illinois and our economy. It's my pleasure to welcome Michael Casa from the IEDA. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Michael Casa. I'm the Economic Development Director for the Village of Sugar Grove and immediate past chair of the Illinois Economic Development Association. Governor Pritzker, thank you for giving the Illinois Economic Development Association the opportunity to participate on this important day. The IEDA is the Association for Economic Developers in Illinois with more than 150 members. This legislation that you are signing will significantly expand DCEO's toolbox of programs to help attract new business projects and make Illinois an even more business-friendly state. This bill speaks to the needs of our business and economic development members, including reducing administrative hurdles and expanding incentive programs. The IEDA is proud to be a strong partner of DCEO. It was an honor to have Deputy Governor Menard and Director Richards speak at our Economic Development Summit last week in Chicago. And we are fortunate to have your Deputy Director for Regional Economic Development, Allie Grady, on our Board of Directors. Thank you, Governor Pritzker, to you and your team for taking every opportunity to make Illinois a great place to do business. Thank you so much, and now I'll introduce Tim Dre.
Thank you. Good morning. Tim Dre from Illinois AFL-CIO, and Governor, I want to thank you. The governor has created a trifecta in the state of Illinois: government, business, labor, all working together. That is so important in so many places that it's not there in neighboring states. Illinois, we work together very, very strongly to create good middle-class jobs with adequate health care and secure retirement benefits. This bill has all those components. It helps us train new young workers to create an even more diverse workforce. And our friends in IATSE, Illinois is going to just bloom with jobs. So we appreciate it, Mark. Thank you for working with us. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, thank you for bringing us together to make sure all Illinoisans prosper. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll take the opportunity to introduce one of my favorite mayors, by the way, Mayor Sangeeta Rayapati.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, I'm Sangeeta Rayapati, Mayor of Moline, Illinois, and it's a pleasure to be here today to celebrate the work done by our partners in Springfield that will truly make a difference for my community and the surrounding communities of the Illinois Quad Cities. We are absolutely thrilled to be added to the River's Edge redevelopment zone as a result of consistent conversations among leaders at both the local and state levels. I remember when I convened our city administrators, mayors, and Senator Halpin and Representative Johnson about a year ago to discuss how we could possibly even the playing field for our development and business creation in the Illinois Quad Cities. This tool, the River's Edge redevelopment zone, was mentioned as something to pursue that could really make a difference for us. And contrary to popular belief that it takes forever for our government to accomplish anything, we get to celebrate our inclusion in the zone less than a year later. Governor Pritzker, I cannot thank you or our legislators and our staffs for making this happen for border communities like mine. As the governor of Iowa continues to make overt plays for our businesses and a seemingly endless stream of development happens in the cornfields across the Mississippi River from us, we need this tool, and we promise to put it to good use, bringing businesses, creating good paying jobs, and helping our community reach its full potential. Thank you. And it's my pleasure to introduce Kate Timmerman as our next speaker.
Gets to explain quantum.
Great. Hello, my name is Kate Timmerman. I'm CEO of the Chicago Quantum Exchange. This is a really important moment. Today, the state of Illinois has taken bold steps to strengthen the region's quantum technology ecosystem, which is already a central driver here in the U.S. This leadership stems from deep collaboration across our leading universities, including University of Chicago, University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, Northwestern University, as well as the Department of Energy National Labs, Argonne and Fermilab, and quantum companies growing here in the region, such as AeroQ, QBraid, Inflection, and many others. Together, these institutions already lead 40% of the National Quantum Initiative Act's research centers, is home to an EDA-designated Block Quantum Tech Hub, and an NSF Regional Innovation Engines Development Award. This foundation is ripe for investment and continued growth. We are home to top facilities and experts, have a vibrant quantum startup culture, and the Duality Quantum Startup Accelerator, and is home to one of the country's largest quantum-ready talent pools. We have a diverse, engaged industry base, including the breadth of sectors that are poised for quantum technology adoption. This legislation will help grow partnerships and startups, as well as attract new cutting-edge companies and startups to the nation's leading quantum campus here in the state of Illinois, enabling them to scale at a commercial level, to create jobs, and to drive inclusive economic growth. No other region is better positioned to lead the world in quantum innovation, and this is due in large part to Governor Pritzker and the state of Illinois and the unwavering commitment to grow this critical industry. The CQE is grateful to the state of Illinois for making this possible, and we look forward to the continued momentum. Thank you, and it is now my pleasure to welcome Lieutenant Governor Stratton. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kate, for your passionate leadership in the quantum space. Hello, everyone. I am Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, she, her pronouns, and first and foremost, I want to thank Governor Pritzker for his unrelenting commitment to Illinois' success and members of the General Assembly for their partnership this session. In the interest of time, I will echo the governor's thanks to everyone who worked tirelessly to ensure Illinois is and remains open for business. Today, I am aware of how much there is to celebrate in Illinois' future because this administration promised to uplift working families, and we are witnessing transformative change at every level. This brighter future is one of thriving opportunity. We are investing in workforce development, expanding resources, and illuminating new pathways toward success. Economic development package might sound a bit vague, but really it encompasses the breadth of possibility in our state. With his signature, Governor Pritzker is recognizing the value of a diverse, adaptable economy, full of options for workers at every stage of their careers. Young people will see an array of careers to explore, while established professionals will see commitment to their continued success. We're enhancing Illinois' landscape in a way that will attract new businesses and maintain our lead in talent recruitment. To echo the governor's words, Illinois has grown in prominence and achieved greater status as a global economic powerhouse. I will also add that our power is increasing, in part due to an intentional focus on equity and inclusivity in the workplace, because we understand that our diversity is our strength and diversity is good for the bottom line. We're actively demonstrating how state economies become success stories because our story is rooted in our people. By recognizing the inherent value of our workers and empowering their sense of belonging in Illinois' trajectory, we are bolstering the resilience of our economy. And that's good for business and it's great for Illinois families. We're proving that with change comes opportunity. And that is the future that I want my daughters and the children of Illinois to inherit. I'm so proud to stand in community with all of you, our economic leaders, advocates, and guides. Thank you so much for strengthening our shared home. And with that, I invite Governor Pritzker up to sign this bill into law. Governor?
Okay, terrific. I'm going to take a few questions from members of the media. We'll hand out our pens in a little bit. Great, happy to take any questions. Olivia. Well, the announcement of the creation of a quantum campus has meant a lot of significant interest from large companies and from new, well-funded startup companies, as well as from governments and industries that want to be plugged in to the efforts here at a quantum campus. So you'll see some announcements that'll come out over the next month or two about some of those partnerships. Then you'll see the choice of a location for that campus, and then, of course, after that there'll be a building of that campus and talk about what's going to be on the campus itself. So I think that's maybe the order in which things will happen. But it's very exciting. I have to say, I was talking to somebody who is very high up in the quantum industry, I guess you could say, who said to me that we're alone in our leadership as a state in putting this quantum campus together. They haven't seen any other state that's this forward on the industry, and it portends well as we look at what the opportunities are for billions of dollars, and I hasten to say tens of billions of dollars of interest in the state of Illinois. Yes, sir.
So with your kind of general approach to economic development, it seems like you have focus on specific industries a lot of the time. So like vehicles, semiconductors, quantum. Why these industries and not any other?
Well, I think if you hearken back to our 2019 economic development plan for the state, and then we'll be issuing another one this year, which they're 5-year plans, you'll see that we have actually a broader focus on growth industries. I'll say, for example, life sciences is another area where we have a right to win. We have lots of healthcare institutions, major universities that are developing new drugs or new solutions for healthcare related problems. And that's just another ag tech and our agriculture industry. We have a right to win in a lot of ways. I will mention that specifically. We sit on the border of, and we have access to 20% of the world's fresh water. That's unusual. I mean, go talk to people who live in California and in Colorado about what's happened to fresh water for them. So think about what that means as an advantage for decades and decades to come. So I mentioned those just to give you some baseline thinking about we're not just focused on incentives that are in this bill related to quantum, for example, but more broadly about how do we turn the crank, so to speak, if you think about an old car from 100 years ago, to get the motor going. On industries that we have a right to win at, that we have the opportunity to really develop in our state, EVs being another one. How do we do that and at the same time enhance the industries that we already have in the state that we're so good at? Remember, one very important thing about Illinois is we have a diverse economy in the state. This is a terrific thing because when we go through difficult economic times as a nation or across the world, Illinois tends not to get, drawn down as much as some other places that have one or two industries that they rely upon. So I'm proud of that diversity. We're trying to lift up all the industries, the companies that are in the state of Illinois, and I reach out and talk to CEOs of all size companies across the state to find out, what do you need? What's going to help you grow? And at the same time, talking to new industries and new companies that want to think about coming to Illinois and figuring out what is it that will make us the most attractive state for you to come to.
Sure. And then if I can follow up on quantum some of the companies that you're in talks with that we might be hearing announcements from in the coming weeks? And two,
You want to get the news before everybody else.
and two, this is an industry that not many people really understand, and we're talking about, beyond just here, hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. So why put all that money there? Like, what are the people of Illinois going to get from this?
Appreciate your asking that question, and I will remind you that, Illinois is where the first browser was developed. Nobody really remembers that. PayPal came out of Illinois. YouTube came out of Illinois. We had the first big supercomputer, University of Illinois. We were poised in the early 90s and late 80s to be the leading state for development of the internet, and most people had no idea what the internet was in 1990, let's say. So think about that analogy to where we are today. And by the way, nobody at the state had a strategy for how do we keep those companies or the development of that industry in Illinois. There was no strategy, and it got up and left. We today, and I, as somebody who has been in the technology industry, we were on the cutting edge. We still are, but we were on the cutting edge when I came into office. University of Illinois, University of Chicago, Northwestern, and other institutions, our national laboratories, all are on the cutting edge of quantum technology, even if other people hadn't heard of it. This is the direction of things. And we're in an international competition, I might add, from an economic security perspective and an international security perspective, a national security perspective. So I mentioned that because we, in my first year in office, even when people hadn't heard much about quantum, we put in our budget, or in the infrastructure bill rather, $200 million dedicated. We were the only state that had done this at this time, dedicated to developing the quantum industry and the Chicago Quantum Exchange and other investments that help us build the ecosystem. That was 2019. Those institutions have thrived over the last number of years, and we are recognized around the world now in something that still maybe people don't totally understand, but at least people know the word quantum. They know there's something big happening. And Illinois and Chicago, among the researchers, scientists, and companies around the world, they know that Chicago is the place to be. And now that we're creating this campus, it's accelerated even more people's interest in Illinois. So I don't want to miss the opportunity like this state did back in the early 90s for us to be on the front end of something that could turn into, I hate these words, but the Silicon Valley of quantum. Imagine if, what happened in Silicon Valley those years ago. Already they were successful at Silicon, but it's where the internet came from. So I'm not going to tell you which companies we're all in discussions with, but you can, frankly, if anybody Googled quantum and leading companies in quantum, you could imagine that we're talking to many of those. Thank you. And go watch Dark Matter, by the way, which has quantum at its base and was filmed in the city of Chicago.